Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty 78609, just leaving the RV park for a little out and about. I thought I'd drive over to my lots and meditate for a while. Still haven't heard a definite on the water hookup in Llano, Texas. I'm not sure if I can hook up to the water, so I am putting things on hold until I get a definite yes on the water, because the water well's out, hauling water's out. I want to hook up to the city water. As a city taxpayer, I think I deserve it. So anyway, I'm waiting on that, and so everything's on hold on that score. I did have an appointment with a draftsman to go ahead and draw up some plans, but that's $400 or in that range, and I really don't want to spend $400 and find out that I can't get water, and I've got a set of plans that I can sit and look at during beer 30 and think about all the good times to come. But be that as it may, no, right now we're just on hold until we find out about the water. How long that'll be, I don't know, because the city office is closed Thursday afternoon through Monday for the quote July 4th holiday, so I know there's not going to be much going on this week. And here's something else I found out. I went by the U.S. Post Office here in Llano, Texas this morning. I thought, well, I'd go ahead and get an address for that location where my lots are, the ones I purchased. Well, he said, we don't do that here. And I thought, well, where do you do that? He said, well, you got to go to the 911 office and they assign the address for that location. Okay, fine. Where is it? Well, that's another trick. Fine. And he said it was in the courthouse. It ain't. And I went to the courthouse, and there's an armed guard that greets me. Had enough firepower on him to take out a small community. And let me get this straightened up. I'm probably making it worse. But anyway, so he said, no, it's not in this building. It's across the street, down the corner. Go in the building, go up the stairs. And, so you go in the building. I went in the building where he told me to go, and there's, probation office and all kind of stuff in there. And I asked a lady, I said, he told me to go up the stairs. I don't see any stairs. She said, well, go back down the hall, and go through that door. There's a door there that leads to the stairway. Well, there's no sign on the door. But anyway, enough said about that. So anyway, I go upstairs, go into that area, and then there's no sign anywhere that says 911 address office or anything even like that. So there's a U.S. district or U.S. representative's office there, and there was a girl coming out, and I said, do you know where the 911 office is? She said, yeah, it's down at the end of the hall. Well, you go down to the end of the hall, and there's a door with a huge combination on it, a little punch combination, and there's nobody there. There's a glass that you look through and you can see into these offices, but there were nobody there. So I just knocked on the door, and then this lady says, could I help you? And I said, yeah, I want to get an address. She said, fine, you got to fill out this form. So I was looking at the form, and it was asking for a lot of legal information about the property, which I understand, made sense. But it said development, and I said, well, I'm just going to build a house. She said, well, that's a development. I said, well, I guess you could look at it like that, but in my mind, a development's like a housing development, but enough said about that. So I was looking over the forms, and I told her, she said, she didn't say anything. I just said, well, the address is right over here on Tarrant Street. She said, well, is that in the city? I said, yeah. She said, well, she just took the form back. She said, we don't do addresses in the city. And I said, well, where do you do them? She said, well, we do addresses outside of the city. I said, well, okay. I've been to the post office. They told me you did it. Now you're telling me you don't do it. She said, well, no, we don't. And the post office should know that. So you got to go to the city and talk to somebody, and they assign the addresses, and then you go back to the post office, and then they do the rest. So you see, guys, it's the little things, isn't it? So I was going to go ahead and make some changes, and get my mail here, and go ahead and transfer my banking. I was going to go by the local little bank called Llano Bank. What an original name. So be that as it may, I'm just kind of on hold here now, and I have to tell you guys, for 50 cents, you push me a little bit and Rusty will forget this whole thing, hook up to his casita and be gone, and that's because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm on to this thing right now, and I keep hitting the wall here and a wall there, and I'm 74 years old. Do I need the frustration? No, no. And here's something else I've found out. I was checking on the availability of building products. You know, right now, getting treated lumber for the front porch, which is going to be 10 feet by 20 feet long, very difficult. There was somebody left a comment about that this morning, but I also saw a sign at the lumber yard here, you know, treated lumber, you know, you better order now or something like that. So, and there are other shortages. I checked with some people at the hardware store. They got a lumber yard and stuff. He said, yeah, there's several things that we can't get right now, or that it's going to be a few months before we get them. And I'm thinking, is this really a good time to build a home? Because you know what that's doing to the price of lumber, don't you? It's driving it through the ceiling. So that's another reason. So, you know, I'm not looking for reasons to stop the project. I'm looking for reasons to go through the project. But what I'm running into is reality. I'm just looking at the facts. I'm not a negative Ned or a negative Nancy. But the facts are water is iffy. You know, there's no way to drill a water well. There's no way to haul. You can haul water, but that's crap. That's just a stopgap measure. That's not going to work for a long term. Not for me. I'm not going to fool with that crap. And then, you know, then the fact that, and I had a builder tell me that too. Builder told me that, you know, that there's, you know, he's got a home out there that he's been working on for 6 months, and they're waiting for product now to complete the house. They've been waiting for about 40 days for some things to complete the inside of the home. So I'm thinking, you know, guys, you know, I could get a mobile home. I could buy an inexpensive mobile home and stick it on the lot and be done. And that's a possibility. You know, I mean, I could drive over to Austin, Texas right now, buy me a little small mobile home, or even a tiny home that's already completed and on their lots, and have this thing done really quick. What I was hoping, though, was to get, with those, you get a home. I'll give you that. You get a home, and they're fairly well insulated and all that, and they'll meet all the city codes and stuff, and it'd probably save me $10,000. So, you know, there's an option. So the next day or two, I may explore that a little more and see where that leads, because you know, I'm in the horns of a dilemma, kind of. I'm going to make a turn here, turn around, I guess. You know, this is a pretty area. This is another pretty area in Llano, Texas, out here in these hills here. But anyway, so today my project is first, hopefully, to hear from the city about water, because even if I get a mobile home, that doesn't stop the water. You know, I still to put anything on those lots, I got to have water, city water, period. Okay, and city sewer's been approved, city electric's been approved. We got one thing hanging fire, and it's water. I called the guy that actually does or makes the decision. I called him twice, and I have had no response. So, you know, I don't know, man. And let me tell you, I've built four, I've built 4 new homes in my lifetime. 4 brand new ones. One of them I built myself. I would not recommend anybody ever consider doing that on their own, ever. It'll drive you to drinking. Maybe that's where I really went over the edge. But even using a builder is frustrating, because you know, they'll give you a deadline, and it's like stepping on a piece of ice. It keeps moving and moving and moving and moving, you know. And it's not the builder's fault. It's because either there's no materials or the subs are hung over, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that negatively about subcontractors, but I mean, you know, or they're not showing up for whatever reason, who knows. So that's where we are now. That's where we are now. You know, again, you know, I'm just looking at all the options, and I want to choose the best for me. And I still feel healthy enough to go traveling, but here's the catch-22 there. With this stuff going on, you know, some places aren't open, some places are closing that were open. So you get out there on the highway going somewhere you think is really neat and comfortable climate-wise and so forth, and you get there and there's a chain across the entrance that says closed, you know, or, you know, you got to wear a gas mask to walk around outside. So those are all the things. The timing looks like I may be a little off here, I guess, is what all this boils down to. Buying the lots is a good investment. I mean, I'm not questioning my decision on that at all, even though I did know up front that water was an iffy issue. I thought to myself, well, in the worst case, you got a good investment, okay? And that's kind of where that ended up. But as far as going over and spending $400 to get some plans to turn over to the city and other places, builders and so forth, I'm not going to do that. In fact, I've already canceled the appointment. I may have mentioned that first of the video. We'll wait. We're going to put everything kind of on HOLD because I'm in no hurry. And over the years, I've learned a little wisdom. I've learned a little bit about, whoa, boys, the dominoes are falling the wrong direction here. Let's kind of put our feet down and say, hold everything. But anyway, this is the street that goes right down to where my lots are. But that's off of Highway 29. We turned on, well, it's supposed to be Fargo Street, but there's no sign at the street. You come in on Fargo Street and it goes right up here to Tarrant, and then my lots are right there on the deal. So, but even getting a physical address is turning out to be, you used to just go to the post office, or that's how I did it on Comanche Drive out there where I live near Kingsland. I just went to the post office, told them where it was. They gave me an address, and that was the end of it. It ain't that way anymore. No. Things change, huh? Just to give you an example on this home that I'm building, the cost of this thing probably is going to be somewhere $30,000 to $40,000 for 400 square feet. Okay, that's roughly anywhere $90 to $100 a square foot, and that's for nothing. That's for no flooring, nothing on the inside, no appliances. I mean, but just to show you how much that is in my mind, I built a 2,000 square foot home. The one I built myself was 2,000 square feet. I mean, it was really nice, and it cost me $60,000. That was in 1976, so that's how much things have changed. So I'm here at the lot looking at things while y'all are looking at that trash can, and without water, this is a dead issue for me right now, okay, without water. And it could be that's where we are. And now, why are they not going to give me water? Could I go to the city hall and fight city hall and do all this stuff, get an attorney and do all that? Probably, and probably get hooked up to water. But what have I done then? I haven't made any friends in the city of Llano, and I've spent a lot of money. When you get an attorney on your side, that's wonderful. It costs you $100 an hour or more. And every time they pick up the phone and call you, or you call them, the meter's running. I know, I've done it before. But having said all that happiness, guys, just letting you know where we are. And if they call me tonight or tomorrow and say, Rusty, we can't hook you up to the water, the next day I would be on the road in my casita if I could find a place to go. Yeah. If I could find a state park to go hang out at for a couple of weeks or so, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Why? Because it ain't nothing holding me here, man. Everything I own is in my truck and my RV. That's it, So anyway, old Rusty's thinking, ain't he? I'm just looking at the realistic options, guys. Just looking at that. There's that old gal that said she was my neighbor. She really is. She's just down the street, that's all. They just bought that house. Anyway, what else can I tell you, guys? It is a nice day in Llano. It's 82 degrees, and I'm waiting for the guy that wants to be my builder to call, because I'm going to meet him over at that cabin and show him what I'm thinking about, kind of get his feedback on whether he can do that or not. But I can see where we're headed. That knotty pine on the inside is probably not available. You got me? And without that, and I just don't want to run into a lot of crap. Get started, you get the deal done, go through all the hoops, get approved by the city, start the process, pour the slab, get the electric stubbed out, and framed up, and there sits all your beautiful lumber sitting there getting rained on every day. or not every day, but or whenever it rains. Yep, that's the realistic. That's what because I remember when I built that house in Victoria, Texas. I built it myself. Man, the framers showed up and they didn't finish, and I was trying to get it in the dry as fast as I could. Well, the only one that wanted it in the dry quick was me. Everybody else was having a good time. But having said that, guys, from Llano, Texas, the good times are coming. They're coming real soon. Things usually work out for the best, and that's the way I look at life. I don't have a bad situation where I am in that RV park. I like it, and I may just pay for 4 months and go traveling whenever I want to and do that for the rest of my life. Would that be a good choice? Yes, sir. It damn sure would. I wouldn't have to put up with anything. You got me? So don't think I'm not thinking about that now. I didn't realize I was going to run into these brick walls, and not having water is not a hurdle, it's a brick wall. And this is a bad little intersection here. But anyway, guys, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye. Buy anything you want anytime, but if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all of my videos. Why? You know why. Doesn't cost you a penny though. Drink plenty of water, stretch, walk, keep your health, do all those things to stay alive. And this thing's going to work itself out. In fact, it's working itself out right now because I'm getting down to the short hair, so to speak, or toward, I'm getting down to the point where decisions need to be made, and I'm making them. And I thank goodness it's just me, because I'd hate to think I had to argue with a wife or kids or whatever. No, this way I can just do it however I want to, and there's no feedback. Now, some of you guys will probably give me some feedback, which is fine. Matilda's hungry. Matilda hadn't had a good meal in a while. But anyway, guys, adios till next time. Bye-bye.